right, good morning, guys. As promised, I'm back in my bathrobe. It is about 6:37 here in Salt Lake City, Utah, right now. A lot of big news stories anticipated. We are waiting for the results of December CPI numbers. Sorry, still haven't had enough coffee. So December CPI, and actually here it is right now. Consumer prices fell 0.1% in December, in line with expectations. So current inflation numbers year over year, December 2021 to 2022, is at 6.5%. So it looks like it is on par. That is coming in right at estimates. It is interesting what the Fed is going to do. I think my prediction is they're just going to raise about 5 basis points. There's no reason to assume they wouldn't. 6.5% inflation year over year is still very high. It's just not accelerating anymore. It's finally decelerating, but more than likely, Jerome Powell is going to be raising interest rates by 2 basis points, so half a basis point. Uh, it's unlikely it's going to be less than that. He had to get really aggressive and go three quarter basis points just to get it down to here, and he wants to continue. Remember, their goal is 2%, so there's still quite a bit to go. What's interesting is mortgage prices did slightly dip, so mortgage rates did slightly dip in December. They went down from about 6.5 to about 6.3%. That's mostly because of bond markets and reduction in yields in bonds and interest rates in bonds, because a lot of loan and mortgage rates are based off of bonds as well. So that's interesting. That's good news, and we will see what that leads to at the next Fed meeting. But at least there's no acceleration in inflation. But again, 6.5% is very high. Again, I do not think there's going to be an economic downturn as significant as people think, if at all. Another interesting facet that kind of supports that argument is American Airlines reported a record-breaking fourth quarter, up 17% from 2019. So that's quite a big jump. We're talking pre-COVID numbers, above pre-COVID numbers. I think that's another sign that inflation and the economy are not going anywhere. It's going to remain strong for a very long time. Another story I reported on earlier this week, the nurses strike. So there was a nurse strike in New York. Our deal was reached with the unions. So about 17, they're going to be gaining a 17% pay increase over the next 3 years. So that deal was reached as well. I don't think that's going to, sorry, my volume's being a little weird. I don't think that's another sign that the economy's not going anywhere, that it's going to keep accelerating like this. The other big story, the one I always talk about, is gold. So gold is up again. Gold touched 1893. That is a little scary. That is one of my few hesitations because, like I've mentioned before, gold is one of those indicators that could lead to an economic downturn. Every time gold goes up, something bad ends up happening. So we'll see what that has in store for us in the next weeks. But gold is one of those indicators that is always an indicator. What's interesting is it's been accelerating for days now. Usually gold rises over the course of weeks, and you'll get blips of up and down, but consistent rises. It's been following the economy. So as the stock market is going up, so is gold. Every positive day for the Dow Jones or the NASDAQ is a positive day for the gold market. That's very interesting. That should be the inverse. It could be that gold is being treated much more as an investment right now, maybe as people leave crypto. Sorry about that. Maybe not. It's just interesting that it seems to be following the same trend as the market itself. So we'll see what that leads to. The last story I'm going to talk to about is China's predicted growth. So this is going to be the most controversial. So China is promising growth of 4.9% in 2023. That's interesting, though, because that's considered a good number. It wasn't too long ago that 6% growth in China was considered a bad number. So for it to be growing at 4.9% is kind of an indicator that China is very much in a mature economy. There's been a lot of economists, a lot of geopoliticians talking about the fact that China's best days are behind it. It's not the doesn't have the strength it did before, and will likely have shrinking economies in the next 2 decades, 3 decades, and so on. Partly because population growth, partly because it doesn't have access to a lot of the natural resources it needs for accelerated growth. So I think it's very interesting that a 4.9% is considered a good target by the CCP. That's a very low number, and they said they were going to stimulate the economy if necessary to reach those levels. Obviously, COVID has been the biggest drag, but those that remember, they have a huge financial housing crisis that has been a huge play and a huge drag on their economy as well. So they're fighting two strong headwinds. We will see if they achieve it. We will see if they just kind of speculatively pump up the economy in order to achieve that goal. We're not sure yet, but that's kind of a lofty target. Those are kind of it as far as the big news stories of the day. Not much else to talk about right now. The CPI is going to be the big number of the day. And also, it looks like Treasury yields are falling as CPI posts a slight decline as expected. That is good because, again, that's going to the bond market does influence the real estate market. So you could see a dip in mortgage prices. That is very good to hear. So we will see what that leads to. I'm going to start getting ready for work. No real big news today. Other than that, I hope to talk to you guys tomorrow. I wish you all the best. I hope you set amazing goals. I hope you've been reaching your goals for 2023. And we will talk again tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.